Welcome to the course Psychology at Work. Myself, Dr. Devi Saumija, Assistant Professor with School of Management Studies, Cochin University of Science and Technology. I've done my post graduation and research in the area of organizational psychology. I've been teaching as well as doing research in this area since the last 10 years. Once again, let me welcome you all to the course Psychology at Work. As we are starting the session, let us first have a look at what exactly is meant by psychology at work. According to Blum and Naylor, 1968, workplace psychology could be defined as the application or extension of psychological facts or concepts and principles to the problems concerning human beings operating within the context of business and industry. Now, let me explain the concept in a much more practical manner with the help of two different pictures. Have a look at the first picture. In this picture, you could see a very famous scene from the popular movie The Modern Times, released way back in 1936. In this Charlie Chaplin movie, you can see how the character, the tramp played by Charlie Chaplin himself, is caught between the wheels of a heavy machinery. This movie very effectively captured the challenges or the difficulty faced by workmen during the 1936. Now, fast forward to 1921. Have a look at the second picture. In this picture, which I am sure now most of us are familiar thanks to the work from home situation after the COVID-19 pandemic. In this picture, you could see how a young father is trying to balance between his family life as well as his work life. So, whether it is 1936 or 1921, individuals at work always find it challenging to manage the interplay among the various components or the players who are involved in his workplace situation. That's where the relevance of the course workplace psychology comes. Now, let's have a look at how the concept of workplace psychology has been defined by researchers all over the world. Researchers all over the world have used different terminologies like workplace psychology, industrial psychology, organizational psychology, occupational psychology, and personal psychology interchangeably in order to address essentially the same concept. Irrespective of which terminology you want to use, the concept remains the same. Now, for the sake of this particular course, we will be sticking to the term workplace psychology. Now, let me very briefly explain a little bit about the origin of the concept of workplace psychology. Origin of this course can be traced back to applied psychology, and applied psychology talks about two fundamental rules. The first one is the traditional school and the second one is the human relations school. First, let's have a look at the traditional school. Traditional school of thought in turn can broadly be classified into two categories. The first one is called fitting man to the job. Basically, fitting the individual who is supposed to do the work to the job. This can be achieved by focusing mostly on the HR functions like employee selection, training and development, and giving him vocational guidance. The second approach under the traditional school is fitting the job to the man. Here, the assumption is that the person has already been chosen for a particular job. Now that he is already working there, how do you ensure that the work environment is arranged in such a way that he or she is encouraged to put forward the best performance? Now, fitting the job to the man, this concept can be achieved by focusing on designing of the job task, by designing of the equipment, or even by focusing on the working condition. Now, in order to support the fitting man to the job school of thought, let me show you a picture. This is from the First World War, wherein personality testing was very widely used in order for recruiting to army. Now, in order to support the second school of thought, which is the fitting the job to the man, let me introduce you to the concept of ergonomics. Ergonomics basically means designing the work environment in such a way as to encourage the individual who is doing the work in order to come out with the best possible way of performance. So as you could see from the picture, the sitting arrangement, the distance between the monitor and the person's eye, the way the person is encouraged to place his hand as well as food, everything is designed in such a way as to encourage the person to put forward his or her best performance. The second school of thought is called the human relations approach, which became popular thanks to the study called Hawthorne studies, which was held during the late 1920s to the early 1930s. This was carried out by Elton Mayo and his colleagues. The Hawthorne studies in turn consisted of four different studies, which are the elimination studies, the band wiring experiments, the relay assembly testing, and the observation technique. One of the major outcome of the Hawthorne study was that irrespective of the working situation, irrespective of the nature of the job, individuals were encouraged to come out with a better performance based on the social environment in which they were subjected to. Mostly based on the who were their team members, based on the approach of the supervisor towards them. So these elements were found to be having a much major influence on their work outcome. So the human relations school of thought says that it is mostly concerned with the interplay between the individual, group, organizations and work, which is much more dynamic in nature. So whichever school of thought you would like to follow, whether it is the traditional approach or the human relations approach, now after almost 100 years of research in this area, researchers have narrowed down the major areas under workplace psychology into 8 major elements. So let's have a look at those major elements. First one is personnel selection and assessment. Second one is training. Third one is performance appraisal and career development. Fourth one is organizational development and change. Fifth one is human machine interaction. Sixth, counseling and personal development. Seven, design of environment and work, which basically talks about health and safety of the individuals at work. And eighth one is employee relations and motivation. Now, in the further sessions of this course, we will be discussing each of this element in detail. Till then, it's bye from me, and once again, let me thank you all for making the choice to listen to this session and wishing you all a very happy learning experience. Thank you. Thank you.